What's the easiest choice you can make? Window instead of middle seat? Picking a vendor who sends a great gift basket? Outsourcing business tasks you hate? What about selling with Shopify? Whether you're selling a little or a lot, Shopify helps you do your thing, however you cha-ching. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. From the launch your online shop stage to the first real-life store stage, all the way to the did we just hit a million orders stage. Shopify's there to help you grow. Whether you're selling scented soap or offering outdoor outfits, Shopify helps you sell. Wherever and whatever you're selling, Shopify's got you covered. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/try. Go to shopify.com/try now to grow your business, no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/try.
O'Reilly.
You've got questions? O'Reilly Auto Parts has answers. Need a pro you can trust? We've got that too. No matter what you need, our professional parts people have the training and expertise to help you do things right. Deep automotive knowledge, just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is a podcast from Minute Media.
Hashtag no music, no intro. Another episode of Hashtag Saints Twitter podcast coming at you. We might just start like nicknaming this show the No Music, No Intro podcast. And we just talk about 90 Day Fiance and just recap 90 Day Fiance episodes, bro.
I could do it all day. You could do 90 Day Fiance, 600 Pound Life. We just mistakenly started watching I'm Dating a Mama's Boy. That's ridiculous. A request of my daughter and girlfriend this past weekend, they wanted to watch one episode of Extreme Cheapskates, which is an older show. And when I could do one episode of it, bro, and I said, please don't let me have to watch another episode of this. Like there's no way. It like it gotta be fake. It has to be.
It has to be, bro. Like there. I don't know if you ever saw the one where like the dude takes the girl on a date to like the barbecue place, and he showers with his clothes on to consult. Mm-hmm. Man, nah, bro. I will never watch it. No way.
There was one though. That dude had a good. I don't know if all movies doing it, but like he said, like the movie goes to like does free refills for popcorn. So he take like the popcorn carton out the trash and just go get a refill of popcorn. I was like, bro, I do that shit.
It can only be for a large, though. It can only be for a large.
I do that shit for
especially the prices we can charge at theaters today, bro.
I do that shit. I don't care.
Give it a couple of boops at the back of it. Make sure all the kernels out.
All the kernels out. You good?
So this episode we're gonna break down. Talk about the Saints positional groups as a whole. This is a primer because next week at some point we're gonna have friend of the show Greg Rosenthal of NFL Network, NFL.com come on and dig deep into one like the best series. Greg does a lot of good work, but I think his best work he does is the projected starter series where he goes through every team, goes through the projected starters for each team, gives his insight, breaks down. It's a piece he does. He's been doing it for the last couple of years. It's great. So we're going to talk about the Saints positional groups, and the next week we're going to have Greg on. Before we get into that, I did want to give some updates for our Patreons. So first thing, if you are a Patreon of this podcast, we appreciate you, support you. However, if you could please check to make sure that you have the right debit card or card on file.
The thing is, Patreon executes its transactions on the first, and I know that's a tough day for everybody. Hey, look, got to pay that rent, got to pay that mortgage on the first. Look, we know it's hard out here, but just got to make sure the money available when those transactions come. When you sign up for Patreon and you dedicate, whatever you want to send, $5, it doesn't take it right away. It only takes it on the first of the month.
Correct. So that's the first thing. Second thing is, I don't know if we lost some pay. Like, we were at 69 away from 200, and now we're back at like 72 from 200. So I don't know if we lost some Patreons along the way. But one thing that I'm excited about that I put on Twitter, we put on Instagram, is that we have official #Saints Twitter coffee mugs. They came out phenomenal. And so if you're a Patreon member at the $10 level, then you are going to get a #Saints Twitter podcast coffee mug sent out to you. I believe it's 10 or 11 inches or something like that. Pause. But so you have to be at the $10 level. I've already started sending some out incrementally, but keep in mind the way that we're doing it is that so we basically have a spreadsheet of everyone who's at the $10 level or higher, and then we're ordering them kind of individually as we go. I've tried to get in contact with the company to see if there's a bulk order that we could do, but it's impossible to fucking speak to somewhere where we're doing it through. But that said, so a couple's going out already. We're going to have more come out, within this month for sure. There's at least, I want to say, good 15 to 20 plus people at that level, or maybe a little less. But we guarantee you that if you're at the $10 Patreon level, you will get a #Saints Twitter coffee mug. And again, if you're curious of how they look, go on our Instagram, go on our Twitter page. We put them up. It looks great. Since I've gotten mine, because I was the first person to get theirs, because I wanted to see how it came out. I've used it like 3 times in the morning because it's just a great coffee mug. So we are trying to add levels for Patreon. So every donation you'll get access to our Discord. You'll be eligible to get to be in raffles for the game tickets we're going to raffle out. But at certain levels, so the first level is going to be the $10 level. You'll get the coffee mug. If you're at the $20 to $25 level, you'll get our tumbler. If you want to get the coffee, like maybe if you want to get 2 coffee mugs instead of a tumbler, that's fine. Just let us know. So we are trying to do levels to our Patreon group. And I know it's June. It's just the 1st of June, but like in 2 months, like preseason football is going to be here. Like it's going to be here real soon. And that's when all the Zoom watch parties for us watching preseason games and regular season games and live streaming on YouTube is going to start. And if the draft live stream was any indication, it's going to be a blast, even though if I have to mute Nate for like spoiling whatever, but it's going to be a blast. So if you haven't joined our Patreon, please take the time to join it. And we don't really talk about this a lot, but if you listen to this podcast and if you enjoy it, please leave us like 5 stars on, if it's Apple or Spotify or whatever it is you listen to it on. Please leave us 5 stars and some comments to help us try to get up in terms of the standings on those platforms. Anything you wanted to add for Patreon or anything?
No, man, just go ahead and sign up if you can, and make sure to DM us and let us know if you want to get in the Discord group. And, make sure to follow our @Saints Pod Twitter page and @Saints Twitter Pod IG, because, I want to be doing stuff, do little quick 2-minute videos and stuff like that. Try to do a lot more content coming this year with the season and all that stuff. So make sure you're plugged in.
We're also on TikTok, Saints Twitter Pod. And then just by becoming a Patreon, you get so much access. There's so many things that go on our Discord. Like we already have one Dynasty Fantasy League already locked in. Draft is done. We're ready to get that off we're already talking about maybe doing another, like a money league. So it's this whole little subset community that we've really cultivated, that we're very excited for. And I mean, the big thing this year is the game tickets that we're going to raffle off. So it doesn't really matter what level you are. It doesn't matter what level you are at all for Patreon. You just have to be an active Patreon, but we are going to raffle off game tickets. One ticket's going to be to the Raiders game, and that's going to be the big game that we're all meeting up for. The second game we're raffling off to is 2 tickets to the Seahawks game in New Orleans. We plan to have those tickets purchased by the middle of this month. So we're excited for what we're being able to do for the podcast and giving back to our listeners who have been so gracious in giving to us. Before we get into the positional groups, I want to address something with OTAs now that they've been in full swing. I don't even know if OTAs are still going. Like I've been so busy, bro. I have no clue. Can we talk about this little thing that's just kind of irritating me? And it could be nothing. It may be minute, but it just seems, and I think we're seeing the difference between a Sean Payton head coach team and a Dennis Allen head coach team. Like the number of people missing OTAs, bro. It's just something just been on my radar, and who knows? By December, January, it may not mean shit, right? It could mean nothing at all, but it's just on my radar of how many players. And I'll preface this by saying OTAs are completely fucking voluntary. I get that. Yep. And I'm not one to be like, the players have to be there. I'm not that person. But it just seems like it's a looser ship, or it's not as strict. And who knows? It could be for the better, right? It might not be a negative thing, but certain players, like their absence, and I know who first is probably rehabbing. And part of me was like, man, this man got hurt like week 4 against the Panthers or whatever, or not. It wasn't week 4. It was like a couple of weeks after that. But it was like mid-season. Like, what is he still rehabbing?
Like, what are you rehabbing, bro? Like, what is going on?
What type of injury did this man get? I am perplexed.
Can someone find out? Like, can someone tell me? Like, Mike Triplett, Cat Terrell, somebody. What injury did he have? Like, what is going on here?
Like, he got hurt what? So his best game was against the Panthers. So I think he got hurt like a week or 2 weeks after the Panthers game.
Yeah.
And so that's like what, week 4, week 5? Like,
I mean, Jameis out there throwing passes. I know he's limping and all that, but I mean, he out there like, what's going on?
I don't know, man. And so like him and like another absence that had me roll my eyes. Why is Adam Troutman missing fucking? Why is finding Memo not at OTAs?
I would throw hands with him right now, bro. Like if I saw him, I'd be like, bro, why the fuck you ain't at OTAs, bro?
Like you are a 3rd-year player who mightily regressed after your rookie season. Like what are we doing? Like
you should be right there, like every day.
And again, it may be nothing. But
maybe nothing. He might be taking college classes or something. I don't know.
But prior to COVID, with Sean Payton teams, OTAs, voluntary or not, man, the percentage of players there were like in the high like 90s of like players that were there at OTA.
No, it usually like maybe 2 or 3 players
at the most.
At the most.
But like,
and here's the thing, though.
It was like a 10-player list last week. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But here's the thing, though. Like, because a lot of people's coming at me, like, bro, like, are you tripping? Like, what are you talking about? Who cares? And I get that. Like, I'm not a big, voluntary OTA. It's OTAs. Like, come on now. So we get it. It's not a big deal. But it's just something to keep an eye on, man. Like, it's just something like, oh, okay. It's just noted. Like, people are like, oh, why are you freaking out? I'm not freaking out. It's just like, okay, noted. Like, a lot of players are missing OTAs when you got a new head coach. Yes, it's DA. He's been there. A lot of them know him. But it's a new head coach, new regime, trying to get back to it. I would just put it like this. If for those are saying it's not a big deal that they're missing. If that's the case, if all the players were there, I guarantee they'll be saying we had 100% attendance at OTAs.
Oh, yeah.
They'll be saying that as just like a feather in the cap. Like, look how great we're doing. All the players came. So if that's the case, if that's a positive, obviously if 10 plus players are missing, that's kind of a little, that's kind of a little negative,
It stands out, man. And again, we got used to how the team was handled under one head coach for so long. So now, like, it's kind of like as fans we're readjusting to like, oh, okay, so like, it may be different. But like, there were just certain players that were on the list that were missing OTAs that was just like, why are you not there? I need to know. Why are you not there? Anyway, that was my thing. This small thing I wanted to bring up. It's just been on my mind and wanted to clear my chest off of it. But let's dive into the positional groups that the Saints have. Let's start with offense. So in terms of, I'm using Our Lads. If you never used Our Lads before, it's one of the sites that kind of compiles all the teams, NFL teams, depth charts, rosters, just a good kind of, thing to refer to. So obviously, let's start with the quarterback room. We got Jameis Winston, Andy Dalton, Ian Book. Those are quarterbacks. They have Taysom Hill here, but he is full-time tight end now. Thoughts on the Saints quarterback positional group?
No, I think that's a good quarterback group, man. Andy Dalton, I was like, when I saw pictures of Andy Dalton, I got excited, man. It was just like, I don't know, like fucking Andy Dalton, the Saint, man. Like, that's
rifle.
Rifle up in this mug, man.
It's kind of wild that Andy Dalton's the same. If you really want, like,
it's wild, bro. Like, I was just fucking weird, man. Seeing him with the red jersey. But that's just a good, like, that's a good backup to have. Like, say the drop off, like, it's not like a upper left echelon quarterback room.
No,
but say Jameis is like a 20-ish level quarterback. Dalton is not that far behind, so you don't have that huge drop off from Jameis to the next quarterback. And after what we went through last season, like that backup position is vital,
crucial.
Oh, crucial. So, and Jameis is coming off injury. Looks like he's on track to probably start for the season, but you never know. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, man, like when you're talking about wins and losses for a season, man, that backup quarterback position is crucial. And on another note, just seeing Jameis out there, he's not 100% healthy, but just seeing him out there spinning it, throwing some nice balls, and just trying to get back in the feel of things. Aubrey had a nice.
It was encouraging, man. It was encouraging to see.
Yeah, and Aubrey had a little article. He was pointing out the things he's working on, and he really focused on the stuff. And you could tell it wasn't just lip service. Like, he talked about looking at the things he really wasn't good at last year, the intermediate stuff, the over-the-middle stuff, Alvin Kamara, their chemistry. He really talked about that and trying to get better at it, and looking at the reasons why he wasn't better,
right.
Way his foot stance and all that stuff. Like, that's good to hear. Like, obviously we got to see, we'll see and see if it works, that he improves in that area, because there's always been a struggle for him. But it's just good to see that that's something that they've identified, he's identified himself, and as a team they have identified, and they're trying to correct. So, I just think, it's good. Like, just considering where we were beginning of the season, like, I think we only had Ian Book on the roster. You had Taysom Hill, but he's not a quarterback. Considering where you are now, you're in pretty good shape. You know what I'm saying? No, you don't have an upper echelon elite quarterback or a franchise quarterback. But plus, trust me, like, a lot of teams you could be doing a lot worse.
A lot worse.
Yeah.
This is not so much for this episode, because I think we should do a episode where we give our 53-man roster predictions prior to training camp, and then we do one after, like, as training camp is about to close or what have you. But I'm going to ask you this now. Does Ian Book make the team, yes or no?
Ooh. Man.
That's a vital roster spot.
Like, you could put him on a practice squad. I don't think he gets to the practice squad. I don't think nobody's beating down the door to come steal Ian Book.
No, I don't at all.
So I could see him being the guy that just, is on the practice squad one week, on the roster, just kind of flip flops on the roster. So, he doesn't have to make the 53. And you could find other quarterbacks out there that's comparable or better than Ian Book. It's a third quarterback.
He might already be with a team. I wouldn't be surprised if he was. What is fucking Tyrod Taylor doing right? You know what I mean? Like those guys, guys are out there.
Out there, man.
Nate Peterman. The Peterman, as Patrick would call him. Let's get to the next positional group. We're going to talk about running backs. Let's talk about it, bro. We have Alvin Kamara, Mark Ingram, your favorite, Tony Jones Jr., Dwayne Washington, Auburn Smith, and Devin Ozigbo.
Oh, Ozigbo back. I forgot about that.
Yes. He is back.
Meh. It's a very meh room. I mean, obviously, Kamara, a dog, but, Mark Ingram, man, like, I love him to death, man. That's my guy. But
are you still blocked on Twitter by Mark Ingram?
I don't think he ever blocked me.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But like he is what he is, man. He's on the down scope of his career. Can't really stay healthy. When he is healthy, he still gives you a little something. But just had been healthy in years, man. He's just like a 30-year-old running back. That's just where he is. And outside of that, man, it's much of nothing. I mean, I like the Abram kid rookie. I like his potential, but obviously we have to see how that works out. Can't stand Tony Jones Jr. Wayne Washington is fine. He's fine. You know what I'm saying? Ozigbo, fine. So no, I would love to see them bring somebody else in, but it doesn't seem like they want to do that.
Yeah, or either they don't want to do it, or maybe they feel like the guy that they potentially want to add is not out there.
Yeah.
It would not shock me at all, however, in terms of, and how it is with the, cut downs, team cuts, a running back on their team unexpectedly, and they may try to jump all over, signing a guy like a veteran like that. That wouldn't start probably. But
that room ain't set.
It's not. I don't think it's set at all. I do not believe it is set at all. I guess I could have included Adam Prentice, who was a fullback on the team with the running backs. I remember the Saints signed him. They claimed him last season as a part of their 53. And then it was weird because he didn't play that much. And then they cut him. And then he was on the practice squad. I don't know. But he is, I think and this would be interesting, right? Because
yeah, it really is.
Because in terms of a Sean Payton offense, Sean Payton always had a fullback. Didn't matter.
Yeah, he loves his fullbacks. He loved them.
Loved them. I mean, I know that.
Pete love him?
I don't know. Is Pete calling the offense, bro? Like, I don't know.
I'm just saying, but that's interesting because it's like, it's Sean Payton ain't here no more. So it's like, right. Maybe Pete with all this time, like, man, how the fuck we wasting the roster spot on a fullback, man? Like, so who knows? Like, so things could change.
Yeah, real quick. So that's going to be something interesting to see because, like, most teams in the NFL don't carry fullbacks. Like, they're just not on the roster at all. And, like, Sean Payton had always been kind of a throwback and always keeping one on the roster because he felt like they were necessary for the offense that he wanted to run. Let's move on to wide receiver. So I'm gonna list them all off in terms of the wide receivers of the team, not the ones that are just expected to make the cut. I'm talking about them all, right? So Michael Thomas, Jarvis Landry, Chris Olave. Then we have Deontay Hardy, Marquez Callaway, Traquan Smith, Kevin White, Quan Baker, Aesop Winston. We have Kurt Merritt, and then you have the two undrafted free agents, Dejon Dixon and Rashid Shaheed.
It's a nice room, man.
It is. My impression of this room is that the fully formed version of the wide receiver room completely hinges on Michael Thomas's health.
Completely. Oh my God. And it took a little setback, finding out that he's still, he's in the building, but he still got the Jerry's Bird hoodie on. Somewhere. I don't know. I haven't
seen him. At least with Jerry's Bird from time to time.
I'm just saying. The Jerry's Bird hoodie for me just mean he unseen, out of sight, out of mind. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I don't know where he at. I haven't seen him. Like, I gotta see him. I haven't seen Mikey. I saw a little IG pic where he had his shirt off. He was all swole up. But I'm like, man, like, how the ankle looking, bro?
Is the ankle swole, bro? Does it?
I'm saying, man, like, that's a question mark, bro. Like, people really just, like, I just see people so willy-nilly, like, man, Mike Thomas is back. Oh, he's not back yet. He's not. Like, what are you talking about? He's not. Just not back yet, man. Like, I think he's going to be back, but that's just a theory.
Yes, and that's the thing, right? Like, again, if Mike Thomas is back, and again, I'm thinking back in, like, he's 75 to 80% what he was. To me, that's back. I'm not expecting Offensive Player of the Year Michael Thomas back. Like, now, if that player came back, then that completely changes the outlook of the team and the entire wide receiver room. I'm not saying that player doesn't exist. I'm just saying that history, like, if he's 70, 75, 80% of what he was, you have a very goddamn good wide receiver room.
That's true. But man, if he is only 75%, that's sad, man. Like, that's fucked up.
Man.
Like, that's just coming off the season he had, 2019?
19.
Like,
yes.
Yeah, that's like, damn. Like, he was on a Hall of Fame trajectory.
Yep.
It would have took some years, but the career he had put up since to that point was ridiculous, and it was up there with the best of them. And if he would have kept it going, he would have been, looking at a yellow jacket at some point, man. But if that's the case, man, I hope it's not. I hope he's able to at least get back to 95% of what he used to be. But, like, man, that ankle injury, I really just wish, I know they were trying to get a Super Bowl, but I really wish they just put him on IR that season and got this surgery right there and just let him do whatever he had to do to get rehab at that point, instead of trying to, kind of keep trotting him out there and just make the injury worse.
And the crazy thing is that ever since the whole Delvin Breaux situation, like, Sean Payton as the coach up to that point had been, like, super conservative with their injuries regarding players. Like, more so than other teams, I would say, right? But for whatever, and you know what it is, man. Pressure, Drew's last year, this is our window, like, that shit happens, and now what? Like,
I would love to talk to like a Saints player that's really willing to talk about that. Like, what's the internal pressure? Because, maybe some of it comes down from the head coach, but look, some of it is self-imposed. You know what I'm saying? Like, other guys are looking at you, the coach is looking at you, and sometimes it's like, man, I got to get out there. I got to get out there. I'm gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? I'm put some, they're gonna tape my ankle up. I get out there, I'll be good. I would like to talk to a player about that and see, like, what's their mindset, and feeling like if they could push an injury. Because face it, man, like, if you're a head coach, a lot of the things you deal with is like trying to manage players and how they handle injuries. I've heard Sean Payton talk about it a lot. He'll put the China doll in certain players' locker rooms who, kind of miss a lot of practices and miss a lot of games.
Which you really, like, think about it, it's a really fucked up thing to do.
That's messed up, man. It's like messed up. But it's like, man, this business, like, it's a messed up business, bro. Like, because because they feel like, look, if that limb ain't hanging off the gristle, like you need to be out there, bro. Like if it's just hurting, like we don't care. They don't care if it hurts. We got something for that. We got this little needle we could shoot up in there.
Oh, I thought you were about to say some tussin. Rub some tussin on it.
Tussin on there, something. We got something for that, but you got to get out there. So it's tough, man. Like that's the part of like sports that we don't really see, but it's a real ugly part of it.
It is. Aside from Mike Thomas, just seeing a little bit of Chris Olave and OTAs and clips, bro.
I'm just like, I don't want to see him no more. Like, just go put him somewhere, bro. Like, you good. Like, just come back late August or something.
Don't need it. Don't need to see a single bit of it, bro. Like, I've seen enough to quote it. Like you've said numerous times on Twitter or maybe our Discord, he just looks like a saint, bro. Just fits perfectly. Jarvis Landry, he's not at OTAs, I don't believe. But this kind of cluster in the back, bro.
Yeah.
And again, we try not to talk about cuts and things right now, but it's gonna be, that scene in The Dark Knight with the Joker, bro, when he said he got an expanded, bro. He broke that pool stick and he said,
y'all figure it out.
One opening between Marquez Callaway, Traquan Smith, and Deontay Hardy, right? We know the top three are set, right? And if they keep five, you would think Deontay Hardy had the upper hand because of his return abilities, but that was kind of meh last year. It's that to me, that group is fascinating because someone's going to be the wide receiver 4, and whoever does not end up being wide receiver 4 might get cut.
Yeah, no, you could see. I could see anybody getting cut out that group.
Wouldn't be surprised especially if we have one of these undrafted free agents at wide receiver who flashes as a returner like that. Yeah. That even puts Deontay Hardy's roster spot in jeopardy to me.
Absolutely.
Who do you think has the advantage out of those three players?
I still do think if Deontay Hardy can stay healthy throughout camp, he has to stay healthy. Like if he gets hurt in camp or something and let somebody else get his shine, he gone. But if he stays healthy and show like his speed is serious. Like
it's a weapon.
It's a true weapon. And just go back and look last year. I think he caught 36 passes or something, which is not a lot. But if you look at last year's offense, that was pretty good.
Yes, it was.
He came through in the clutch. He was great on those comeback routes. He was great downfield, catching passes in stride with James. James had a nice connection with him. So him and Chris Olave, as far as like field stretchers, that's a dangerous combination. Man. So if he can stay healthy, I think he's good as far as a roster spot. Traquan Smith, it's hard to know with him, man, because he's a training camp champ right there. You know what I'm saying? Like he always started training camp, but come like preseason games, regular season games, just like who knows. But he kind of is what he is. I think we know who Traquan is.
We know.
I don't think he's ever going to be more than what he is.
No.
And Callaway, I think he's good to go. I think he has a roster spot. But
I think he does too. I do. Because I think, and this is me guessing, but I do think because even though he was thrust into a position of being a wide receiver 1 that he had no position of being in, no fault of his own, as the season went on last year, he came on.
He did.
He improved and he got better.
And he pretty much done it all. He's not a burner, but he does a lot like Mike Thomas. He can win downfield. He does a lot of the intermediate stuff. He's a good wide receiver, man. Like, he's a good wide receiver. Like, if he didn't make the Saints, he'd be on some other team being productive. So, I think he has a spot on this team. But that's a good problem, bro. Like, hopefully everybody stays healthy. Hopefully Jarvis Landry, he's kind of working back from injuries. Hopefully he's healthy. Because then you just got a bunch of good problems, man. If you got a cut like a Deontay Hardy or Tre'Quan Smith or something like that, that's good. That's it's sad to see him go, but it's like that's a good thing.
Just imagine where we've been like the last 3 years, bro. Just the role reversal. The changes. And this is also assuming that the Saints may not try to add another weapon at wide receiver that's not already on the team. And I'm not reporting anything or not. I'm just saying that this is completely conjecture and hypothetical, right? But between now and the next couple of months, if they added a Julio Jones, which would be hilarious, or an Odell Beckham or something, like then that just puts everything else into, and like it really puts their roster spots potentially in jeopardy.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Especially like Odell Beckham, because he probably go straight to PUP. But so if he go straight to PUP, that wouldn't affect the roster spot immediately. But man, when he come back, man.
Somebody getting that call. Let's finish out with offensive line. So let's start with tackle. We have Ryan Ramczyk, Landon Young, James # put him in the hearse, Ethan Greenidge. I always want to say Greenrich.
Greenleaf.
Trevor Penning. And then they have some players that are going to make the team at all that I'm not going to even mention. Tackle position. All hinges on Ryan Ramczyk. If he's healthy, that's great. If not, you may be starting freaking a rookie in James Hurst at the tackle positions, which is not a. So if Ryan Ramczyk could be Ryan Ramczyk in 2000, like how he has played before him getting that contract extension, the tackle position and the future of it could be really set, especially if Trevor Penning ends up hitting and is a good pick and becomes a good to great player.
Agreed. And Ramczyk was at OTAs. He was out there tussling. So hopefully he's on track. Penning, man, he looks impressive. Like just looking at pictures of him, like that's a stacked dude. But we'll see with him, man. Like, can they coach him up? Doug Marrone, all those guys on the offensive team, like, can they get him going? And look, this team has figured out. Like, I know people keep pointing out Armstead gone, but man, the Saints played a lot of games without Armstead.
Tons.
So if they could just figure out how to just be serviceable in that area, he doesn't have to be an All-Pro in his first year, but just be pretty good. You get Andrus Peat back. Man, I'm looking for Andrus Peat. Welcome back, Andrus Peat.
Where you been, Pete?
Where you been, baby? So, things can be looking up, but it could get real bad easily, because old season. Well, we talking about tackles, right?
Yeah, we're talking about tackles.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna leave that there.
And I'll say this as a kind of like an underrated thing. I know that the team really was high on Landon Young before he got hurt.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
The team was very high on him. I don't know. And in the grand scheme of things, like, I don't know what that means, right? But I know they're high on him. Maybe his position isn't at tackle. Obviously, if Ramczyk and Penning works out, then his position won't be at tackle. So that may mean he may have to switch over and play guard. But I know the team was high on him. Speaking of guard, let's go into the guards for the Saints. Everyone's favorite, Andrus Peat. They brought in Forrest Lamp, who was on the team last year. They signed Josh Andrews a couple of weeks ago, maybe as a depth signing, but maybe that's some competition. And then we got Calvin Throckmorton, got me on rock, and everyone, and the Saints Twitter favorite, Cesar Ruiz at right guard. And first thoughts that hit you hearing those names?
Throck, Andrews, somebody got to get Ruiz out of there, bro.
Gotta get him out, bro.
Gotta beat him out, man. Like, speed him out. Beat him out. Like, they should be better than Ruiz.
I agree.
If they don't even have to be physically better, just like do their job better. And
it is insane how bad he is. And I know we spend a lot of time making jokes about him, but like it like just from and we've talked about this, right? And I know you asked Thor, you've asked some people, but just like, how is he so bad? Like, how did he go from playing in the Big Ten, like anchoring an offensive line at center, and now like the ball is snapped and like I don't know, man.
He's looking at the goal line, like ball snap. He just looking downfield. Like, what are you doing, man? I don't get it, bro. I don't get it.
Oh, and like watch if you're still like emotionally invested in the Saints, I could imagine watching Cesar Ruiz, bro, because now for me, like I can watch him and now I laugh, bro. Like to me, it's just comedy.
Funny as hell, man.
It's comedy. One of the worst players that Sean Payton has drafted. He's worse than Stephon Anthony. I truly believe that, bro.
I believe you, bro.
Even Stephon Anthony, he had his like interception. He almost returned that, the block field goal.
He had some flashes though, at least. He had some flashes where you could squint and believe. You know what I'm saying? If you didn't really look. Like, oh.
Okay. Bro, with Caesar, no chance.
Like, oh man, we can get a third for Caesar. Like, who? Show me who would trade a third for Caesar.
No, nobody, bro. Yeah, please. If it's Throckmorton, like you said, Andrews, Landon Young, and that's something I'm going to be all over in training camp, bro. I want to see how that offensive line rotation.
Oh yeah,
because preseason games, and again, it goes back to Doug Marrone, bro. If in preseason, if Caesar is being typical Caesar, Doug gonna go to Dennis Allen and say, can't do it,
bro. If by like the second or third preseason game, you see Caesar out there in the full quarter, baby,
we made it.
We made it, baby. Out of here, bro.
All right, let's switch over to the defensive side of the ball. Let's start with the Saints defensive end. So we got Cam Jordan. We got 2 first, Marcus Davenport. Who first?
Go
ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying Cam Jordan, who's at OTAs.
Right. Man was drafted 11 years ago.
Like if he missed OTAs, like nobody would care. Like
nobody.
Fine. Just completely fine. Take off, bro.
Cam Jordan, Marcus Davenport, Peyton Turner, Taco Charlton, for whatever reason in my Madden franchise for the Saints, has become like the next what was the defensive tackle that got into it with Jagged Edge that we had on our team?
Nick Fairley.
Nick Fairley. Like he's become a stud on the Saints for some reason. Big Creep, Carl Granderson, and Tano Passangal, who was a very underrated signing that the Saints had last season and played extremely well before he got hurt. Short and sweet, bruh. The edge position on the team goes as far as the 3 first on the team take them, bruh. If 2 first Marcus Davenport can be healthy and play majority of the season, And if Hoopers plays, and when he does plays well, like you're cooking with a lot of talent. But there's the whole health, injury. I don't know. I know it's early, bro. I know, Ryan. I know it's early, but I'm just not. Maybe we'll see it, but I gotta see it. It's a position where I feel like we have to see it, especially from Davenport and especially from Peyton Turner.
Yeah, man. It's like just inspires some confidence. Like, you know, Peyton Turner, I saw his interview, you know, so he's trying to work back. You know, maybe it's just nothing, man. He's just working back. But, bro, I got to see you, bro. I got to see you, man. Like, it was a first round pick. Maybe you shouldn't have been. Maybe. But you know, it's time to show out. And Marcus Davenport is like, what are you rehabbing, man? Like, I thought he finished the season healthy. I don't know.
You know how Marcus do, bro.
But it's so crucial. Like the D-line, man, it's so crucial for this team to have that D-line good, because people forget, like, man, that pass rush was tepid the first half of last season, man.
It was terrible, bro. We was at Cam Jordan's neck, bro.
Ready to get him out of here, man. Ready to get him out of here.
Yeah. You know? And then
the big change that happened. He got COVID. But the real big change was Davenport came back healthy.
Yep.
And they couldn't double team Cam no more. And it was just one-on-one matchups. And, you know, they were all able to win. And it's a team game. So hopefully they could get that together. But that's just something we got to be prepared for. But they got a lot of depth. Like, they got some good depth, man. Like, Tano,
they do.
Got Big Creek. That's some nice depth there. Even if, you know, say they all can't go immediately. That's some good depth that they could at least put out a serviceable D-line.
They can. And honestly, I mean, this is a question for me, because they're kind of like, when you're looking at our last site, how they line up. Like, at this point, like, has Peyton Turner shown enough to get more snaps than Tano after Tano played last season? Like, before he got
probably not.
I'm just being honest. This is not me trying to be like super pessimistic against Peyton Turner. I'm just being real about it, bro. Like, Tano had some like disruptive games early last season, bro. I was like,
that's what I'm saying. Peyton Turner has to show it. Like, early in the season in practice, he has to make the coaches be like, oh, we got to get him on the field. You know, I mean, that's what Davenport did. Even, you know, with all his problems, you know, there are snaps where you look at Davenport, it's like, woo, Jesus. Like, we got to get this dude on the field, man.
You know what's funny is that I remember being at the Senior Bowl with you, and we watched Otito, bro, in the
yeah.
And I was, oh shit! Like, yeah, that's the reaction that you like. We gotta get it. We gotta find plays. We gotta find packages. Doesn't matter. Something. Also crucially important is the interior defensive line. So let me go through that positional group as of right now. David Onyemata, Kentavious Street, Shad Tuttle, Malcolm Roach, Albert Huggins, Jaleel Johnson, who they signed as a free agent, Jordan Jackson, the draft pick, and then I'm guessing an undrafted free agent, and Josh Black. What do we think about this D-tackle situation?
It's pretty weak as far as
pretty underwhelming.
It's underwhelming. You got a lot of guys that do show some things, but no real high level talent. You got Onyemata. He's your best talent there. But outside of that, it's just like, you know, it's a rotation. It's a rotation you can get in there. All those guys have shown a little something. You know, Shai Tuttle has shown a little something. Not much as far as pass rush. Street, I'm interested to see what he shows. But outside of that, it's like, That's a point of concern.
Yes. And after the Bucks signed former Saint Hakeem Hicks, I would guess I'd probably put doubt in Sue going back to Tampa Bay. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if they tried to add to the defensive tackle position, whether it be by free agency or by like a bet cut in training camp, and someone becomes available that they like and they sign them. But like, I agree with you 100%. It's a very underwhelming position. I'll say this in all earnest. I think the tight end position on the team is so underwhelming that I completely just bypassed it when we're talking offense. Just skipped right over.
I completely forgot about tight end, bro.
Right, bro. We just talked about tight end. We went straight to the defense, and it felt like natural. That's concerning, Ryan. That is fucking concerning. So let's amend that real quick. We got Finding Nemo, Adam Troutman, Taysom Hill coming off a Liz Frank injury, Nick Bennett, Juwan Johnson. If he does one more weird fucking Instagram with his girl, oh my god. JP Holtz, who they signed as a free agent this offseason. I believe he came from like Buffalo, maybe. They got Kahale Warren, who was like a third round pick that never latched on. He had a ton of injuries, and then guys making some buzz, bro. Lucas Kroll,
baby.
I scroll. All I said was this: I watched a shit ton of Kenny Pickett leading up to this draft because I thought there was a big chance that he'd become a Saint. A lot of times when I watch Kenny Pickett, Lucas Kroll flashed. He just flashed, bro. And it was so funny because he also wore like the number 7. So it was also like, it's kind of like watching like Taysom Hill in a way. I'm not comparing them as players, but like he's wearing 7. He's big. He's kind of flashing in OTAs a little bit, bro. Just saying, like this tight end room leaves opportunity for someone like a player like him that can make the roster because the tight end room is so underwhelming.
Exactly. No, man, we need it, man. Like if Kroll could be like a 300-yard guy, like that's huge.
Man, I know this name gonna give teams or fans like flashbacks, but can he be? He plays for the fucking Cardinals now. No, not the Cardinals anymore. Jags. Dan something.
Dan
Arnold.
Dan Arnold, man.
If Kroll can be Dan Arnold without a crucial drop in the NFC Championship,
like, please, man, we need it. Like, we would need it.
It's drastically needed. I know in Sean Payton's offense, the tight end position was a huge need and just position that he utilized a lot. We'll see what Pete Carmichael does, but to me, like this is a make or break a year for Adam Troutman. Like,
oh yeah,
period.
Yeah,
period.
And Sean Payton gone, so like there's nobody that like is tied to love for him or nothing. It's on him, man.
Absolutely. Like he needs to show out because even though I didn't see what like a lot of people saw in his rookie season, the one thing I did see is he was a damn good inline blocker as a rookie. And last season, the blocking was terrible. The plays in the pass game was terrible. So it's like terrible. At that point, like what useful are you? Because at least with one, you can say, okay, well, he doesn't do much in the passing game, but he's like a great inline blocker. It's like having like a 6 offensive lineman out there, whatever. You can talk me into it, bro. But you ain't doing nothing well. I don't know why you're on the field. Taysom Hill, I don't know what fans like y'all, people realize this man had a Liz Frank injury in the last game of the season. Like he may not play until like October or November, or if that. He's already come back from a prior Liz Frank surgery or Frick injury when he was at BYU, I believe. Like, Taysom would thrive at that position and in that role, and I get it. But
and he's in his 30s.
Yeah, like I don't know, man. Like this, I know they want to add I know they potentially want to add another weapon, right? And I don't know who's even out there at tight end that would even be an upgrade. I'm pretty sure there's someone is that I'm not thinking of, but like this to me, like this position, like if there's a weapon needed, like it needs to be added to that group right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or I mean, this would be going out to wide receiver. You know, a little sneaky move that they could do, and I don't know if he's still on a trading block, bro. But you know, you give the Jags like a fifth for like Laviska Shenault, bro.
Hey,
I'm just saying. All right, let's get back to defense. Linebacker, Demario Davis, Pete Werner, Zach Bond, Caden Ellis. I didn't even know Caden Ellis was on the team, to be honest with you. Eric Wilson, Andrew Dow, DeMarco Jackson, the rookie that they drafted, Nephi Sewell, a brother to Penei Sewell, undrafted free agent that they signed, and another undrafted college free agent that they signed, Isaiah Pryor. Thoughts of the linebacker position?
Real solid group, man. You know, you hope Davis can kind of stay the course. He's in his 30s now. You hope that he could be, you know, just stay as explosive as he's been. Pete Werner, you know, you hope he kind of takes a second-year leap. He had a really good rookie season. You know, what is he as a linebacker? Like, optimistically, you know, at his best, he's a good run stopper, a good guy behind the line of scrimmage, a good diagnose and attack type of guy, decent in coverage. But after that, it's kind of thin, bro. Like
it is, man.
They really can't risk many injuries in that group.
Still not 100% sure why Quan's not back.
I don't get it.
I don't.
It's one of those things, like, because if Quan back, he's probably starting over Pete Werner.
Is he though? Like, could
probably.
you bring?
Because they brought him back last year,
right?
So it's like, I don't know. It's like Pete Werner, the cheaper dude, you drafted him, so it's like you don't want to supplant him. But at the same time, man, like they just build a great defense, man. Like,
period. Yeah.
Like Quan, like he brings something. He's not a perfect linebacker, but he brings some things that you just can't coach. Like he gives you some explosive splash plays, and he gets there. Like he gets there ASAP. And, you know, that's useful, man, especially when you talk about, like, the running quarterbacks we got to deal with and all that shit.
He has traits that are needed, right? And we've seen him make a lot of plays. And I'm just to the point where, like, even bring him back in a depth position, man. Like,
yeah,
injuries are bound to happen. And so I don't know what the backup situation is going to be. What if Demario goes down for a game or two?
Yeah,
And then we got P. Warner and then Caden Ellis, because I'm telling you right now, bro.
Zach Bond might
not making the team, bro. He ain't making
man,
the team.
do you remember Zach Bond in the preseason game, bro? Man, dude was like PFF's like highest rated defensive player that week or some shit. It was crazy. Like that dude was an animal that week.
Had me believing, bro. Still have no clue why they just make this man a full-time pass rusher. I don't get it. Don't get it. But he's not making the team. Sorry. Not happening. He's not making the team. And if he does, the only reason he makes the team is because either maybe special teams or sucking cost fallacy. Can't tell me any different.
I just want to know, like, it's going to tell me a lot what happens with him. Like, whose decision it is to use him how he's used.
Right. It would. I mean, it's DA. It's DA. I mean, now it's completely DA's autonomy, right? So if Sean Payton maybe saw him as an off-ball linebacker, that's all he saw him as. Maybe DA may see him like, hey, that was dumb. Like this guy should be rushing the passer. Maybe, but we'll see. We'll see. But it's a solid group. The depth is a little concerning for me. You have like an elite player in DeMario Davis. You have an ascending player in Pete Warner. Still feel like bringing Quan back could just solidify the depth, but good position. Moving over to cornerback. Ooh, buddy. Marshawn Lattimore, Bradley Roby, Paulson Adebo, hashtag don't back me, bro. Alontae Taylor. And then you have Jordan Miller, you have Dylan Mabin, and then you have the undrafted free agents, DeMarcus Fields, guns up, he's from Texas Tech, and Vincent Gray. That is and this is not anything in regards to, and I guess we should include the nickel backs in this as well, with Chauncey Gardner-Johnson as nickel, and PJ plays nickel from time to time too. That's a stacked cornerback room, bro. That is a stacked room.
Oh man, like find me another team in the league. You know, I mean, it's not many teams in the league got a cornerback room like that.
Only team I can think of that could be on the same level or compete, ironically, is the Ravens.
Yeah,
that's it. Because they have what? Marlon Humphreys. Does Jimmy Smith still play? Am I tripping?
Is he? Yeah. Is Jimmy Smith?
I think Jimmy Smith.
Like he's been in the league like 20 years, bro.
At least, bro.
He's in the league, bro. Like I never even see like when he get extensions and shit.
I gotta look it up. I'm pretty sure he's still in the league. I'm like, I think he got injured last season, but
he did. He had buku injuries.
Yeah, he's still a team, bro. Marlon Humphreys, Jimmy Smith, and then obviously they have Marcus Williams, and then they drafted who they drafted from Notre Dame. I completely lost all my draft knowledge as soon as the draft, bro. Just gone.
Boy, man,
you know what I'm talking.
Whatever his name is.
What is wrong with us? Like we're so like not in touch with football. Cal Hamilton, that was going to draft.
Yeah.
Only team I think that could compete in terms of talent wise with the Saints, but like that, and just think how far we've come as Saints fans.
Oh,
Brandon Browner, Corey White, Jason David. I mean, I know he only played a couple of snaps. John Stanley, John.
P-Rob, we used to be praying for P-Rob to be healthy.
We've come so far, bro. So far. Again, I have one thing that Jeff Ireland has become not a complete master of, but his track record in terms of drafting secondary players since he got a second chance with the Saints has been unworldly, bro. It's been
it's been insane. Great. And look, I mean, I know I was like with the Alontae Taylor pick, I was like, oh, but after watching him some and then looking at him in the Saints uniform, lining up, reading some of the reports on him, hey, he might be a player at cornerback, man. Like
so, bro.
Like he might be a player, bro. Like, and him partner with Chris Richard and DA, guys that know how to use dudes that's built a certain type of ways.
He just looks might be big, bro.
He does, man.
Big.
That length and everything.
He has extremely fluid hips.
He does, man. And that length, I tell you, that length and that movement goes a long way playing cornerback, man. Like even if you get beat, if you got that length in them arms, man, like you could break up a lot of passes. It'll save you a lot. For the key for him is just understanding offenses. Especially depending on the receivers he's covering, the wiggle guys and the guys with a lot of lateral movement and stuff like that. They could put some work on him. So he's going to have to understand all the different phases of the game. But nah, man, that's a stacked DB group as far as the secondary. I mean, as far as like cornerbacks.
Stacked. Let's finish out with safety. I guess we can talk on special teams a little bit. But let's finish out with safety. Tyrann Mathieu, Marcus May, PJ Williams, Daniel Sorensen, Justin Evans, JT Gray, Smoke Monday.
Ooh, stacked.
Yep.
Deep, bro.
Yes.
It's deep. Like no one of these players actually replaced Marcus Williams' skill set. But like as a group, like they all provide different spices, if you want to say. Like, you know what I'm saying? You got your cayenne, you got your Tony Chachere's, you got your salt, your pepper, you got, your thyme, and all these little different little, like all those guys pack different little seasonings to the secondary safeties.
What is Daniel Sorensen? Like just an organic thing where nothing comes out? Like there's no actual season. It just says organic on it. But nothing actually comes out with you fucking poor, bro.
I don't know, bro. Like
that
still don't know what the baby does, bro. Like he's parsley. He's parsley, like just a little, you throw a little parsley on there once you finish cooking to make it look pretty, which they shouldn't do at all, but they do it anyway. It's like, we don't need this damn parsley on. Get this shit off.
Get this shit off. I'm about to eat it.
But that's a stacked safety group, bro. Like you got a lot of interchangeable pieces, which DA likes to use. Guys that can play the nickel, they can cover. They can play center field. You got hitters back there.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Evans really intrigues me.
Intriguing, man.
Because he was a fairly high draft pick. He had some good snaps with Tampa Bay. Got beat up and injured. And
badly.
He was out the game. But from what I've heard, he's moving really well in OTAs. He looks completely healthy.
He's 26.
And 26 years old. So you just don't know. It could be like a Delvin Breaux situation where you get a guy who's been out the game for a while that's just come in and just can just give you some really good snaps. I don't think he's gonna start or anything like that, but with secondary players, man, you just, even if it's just, 30 snaps a game, that's an impact.
And like a big thing I'll say too is, as a player, like a player that plays his position, there probably isn't a better team that you could come to than come to a team that's going to be coached by Dennis Allen, Chris Richard, Ryan Nielsen. Like that's a perfect position to fall into.
Hell yeah. Yeah, man. So it's looking good back there. And the depth of it, man. We've seen it. I needed to look this up, but I would love to see the win-loss numbers when Lattimore is out. Because I swear, when Lattimore is out, we lose.
Doesn't it feel that way?
It's just an L, bro. He's just so crucial to that. So you got Don't Vex Me, bro. You got Lante Taylor. You got CJ Gardner-Johnson. So they need a guy who would come in and be pretty good. You're not going to be Marshawn Lattimore, but just be a good cornerback that can handle up number one receivers and be pretty good against them. That's huge in itself, because that depth is needed, bro. You need 3 good cornerbacks today.
Absolutely. And I don't know if this is going to happen, but if, let's say Alante Taylor is a huge hit, right? Let's say he's playing to the level of Paulson Adebo in like training camp and in preseason. then I think they have a legit decision about if they decide to keep Bradley Roby or not. I think that's a legit thing. And again, if he doesn't, like if he takes more time to develop, then they have no problem keeping Bradley Roby. Obviously, they brought him back. They quote unquote like extended him or what have you. But if Alontae Taylor is a hit, I think Bradley Roby could be moved.
I agree.
Quickly, let's hit on special teams. We're hitting on special teams because it's a position that cost them some games last season, bro. If they had a decent, consistent field goal kicker last year, they make the playoffs. Easy.
Yeah.
Easy. Punter, Blake Gilligan. You got Will Lutz, who's healthy again, and Zach Wood, the long snapper. And honestly, bro, I'll say this about Will Lutz. Will Lutz needs to be back to Big Nuts Lutz, bro.
We need it, bro. Because you remember the year before last, like,
yep.
It wasn't looking good, bro.
It wasn't, bro. It wasn't.
So we need him back, like back.
100%. 100%. Because that wins games. Like it seems but it decides games literally.
And the way this team built, like even with the offense, theoretically looking better, we know there's going to be about 5 or 6 games that come down to that final kick.
At least 5%. We have no insight on this, but I also think it's going to be interesting. Obviously Deontay Hardy is kind of like grandfathered in as the kick returner and punt returner, but I think there's going to be like more of an open competition for that position in training camp, especially with maybe some of the undrafted free agents at wide receiver that they signed after the draft.
Yeah, we need it, man. I don't know any of the names that could really pop off, but we really need some juice there. They can at least, even if not, they supplant Hardy, at least be kind of a partnership. Because Hardy, man, he take a beating back there, bro.
He does.
I don't know how many times I watch him make a good kickoff and then he out the game. He's gone. Like, I'm like, oh, shit.
It happened. What was that? It was a playoff game against the Bucs, bro.
The Bucs, man, he was going off,
bro.
Off, and then gone. Just gone. I'm like, damn.
Anyway, so those are the positional groups. I'll just give a very breakdown. We talked about the positional groups as a whole as a team. Saints have a good team, man. They do.
They do.
They have a team that could compete in the NFC currently as it's currently constructed. Coaching is going to be a factor. Obviously, injuries and luck, that all plays a factor into it. But we wanted to do this exercise prior to Greg coming on the show next week, kind of hearing what he thinks about the team in terms of the depth chart and projected starters. But we're not just going to talk about the Saints next week. We're going to talk about, other teams around the league and things like that because, we love hearing all that. Anyway, all that said, thank you so much for supporting us. I know it's the summertime. We see the numbers dip a little bit, but the numbers, I would say, overall, even though it's summertime, for us have been pretty good in terms of listens and downloads. So please continue that. We're trying to do at least an episode once a week. As things pick up, football related, we'll start doing more episodes on more than a weekly basis. But at least right now, once a week, I get it. It's summertime, vacations, all that stuff happens, right? Because everyone's trying to get everything out the way. But then once football starts up, it all kind of crescendos and everything picks up again. So thank you for your continued support. Please, like I said earlier, if you are a Patreon, make sure that the information that we have that Patreon has for your file is accurate. If you're not, if you're interested, become a Patreon. We're 70. I don't even know. We're 70 plus away from getting our goal of 200 before the regular season. So please become a Patreon. We have the coffee mugs at the $10 level. The Saints Twitter podcast Tumbler at the $20 level, and then any level gets access to our Discord. So we're just building this thing up. We got like 1,900 listens for our off-season episode, which actually is pretty good for an off-season. So anything else you want to add before we get out of here?
Nah, man, let's roll.
All right. So with that, we're gonna get out of here. We'll be back next week. With that, we're out.
Peace.
O'Reilly.
Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free and provides a report with solutions based on over 650 million vehicle scans verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we can recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.